Welcome to the St. Joseph Probate Court's attorney tutorial for the Quest Case Management System. My name is Mike Lockmoney and I will be your narrator for this tutorial, which is required to electronically file in the St. Joseph Probate Court. Along with your CD-ROM, you should have received a packet of information, which includes training notes that can be used in conjunction with this tutorial. There is also an attorney user agreement, which must be signed and returned to the court before access to the court system will be granted. You can fax this agreement to my attention at 574-235-5342. Attorneys are responsible for the user IDs, however they can be shared by the attorney's staff. Also in your packet is an appearance form. This is one of the few documents that cannot be submitted via the Quest Case Management System. If a case is already in existence and you wish to make an appearance on that case, simply fill out the appearance form and return it to the clerk of the court. It can be submitted in person, by mail, or by fax. We have also included information forms in your packet to open a new guardianship, estate, or paternity. Simply fill out one of these forms and return it to the clerk's office along with your filing fee to open a case in the St. Joseph Probate Court. Finally, I have included my business card, which offers many ways of contacting me. I will do my best to go over as many potential questions you may have during this tutorial. However, feel free to contact me at any time if you need further instructions or have any questions or comments. I plan on being your help desk for any and all problems you encounter with electronic filing in the St. Joseph Probate Court. Thank you, and I hope you find this tutorial informative and helpful. To access the court's case management system, simply log on to the internet and type in www.jjconline.org. Here's what jjconline.org currently looks like. We do plan on modifying this page in the future. At this point, simply click Log on to Quest to go to our sign-on screen. This will take you to our sign-on screen. As you can see, it states this site is best viewed with Internet Explorer at a resolution of at least 1024 by 768. If you try using another browser such as Netscape Navigator or Mozilla Firefox, not all features within Quest will work properly. As far as the resolution goes, if you use less of a resolution such as 800 by 600, you'll have to scroll to the right to view the additional information. Unless you're using a Windows operating system of 98 or older, you should be just fine. Most Windows XP machines come right out of the box at 1024 by 768. 3 fields are required to log on to Quest: jurisdiction, user ID, and password. Since it is St. Joseph County you wish to log on to, our jurisdiction is St. Joe. It is 5 characters, without a period and without a space. STJOE. It is not case sensitive. After typing in such, simply hit Tab to move to the next field. Next we enter in the user ID. The user ID is 6 characters consisting of the first 3 letters of your first name, followed by the first 3 letters of your last name. This is for the attorneys, of course, and all other court staff who have access to the Quest Case Management System. Next, you will enter in your password. Your password is your user ID in all capital letters. You will be instructed on how to change your password in just a few moments. It is very important that you change your password right away to prevent unauthorized use of your user ID. Your logon will enable you to complete and view all documents and case information on cases in which you have made an appearance. If you have not made an appearance on a case, you will be blocked from obtaining any information with your logon. In order to alleviate this problem with public cases, we have created a public user ID and password. This user ID is simply lawyer, and the password is the same except for the password is in all capital letters. Lawyer will allow you to view all public case information, but will not allow for any editing or document creation. This will allow you to view any public case information you wish without making a formal appearance on a case. If you later decide to make an appearance, submit the appearance form included with your packet to the clerk's office. They will then give you access to the case under your user ID, which will allow you to file all pleadings, motions, and forms of order. Once you log on to Quest, you will notice a menu that appears on the left-hand side of the screen, along with buttons on the bottom of the screen. Use this menu and the buttons to navigate through the Quest Case Management System. The Internet Explorer buttons provided at the top should not be used. Some of them do work, but provide you with a series of errors prior to doing such. The only Internet Explorer button that's okay to use is Print. Other than that, please use the Quest buttons and menu to navigate throughout the Quest system. If you click on a topic on the menu in Quest on the left-hand side, for instance, a submenu will open up, as we will see next. Here we have clicked on Person. As you can see, a submenu has opened up, which allows us to click on Name Search. This is the utility we'll use to look people up. In this case, we're going to look ourselves up to change our password. Here's where you'll type in the last name of the person you're looking for. In this case, you'll be looking yourself up. In my case, I'm looking myself up. You will then click over to the first name field. In the first name field, I have typed in my first name. As you can see, there were no matches found. The reason for this is that Michael Lockmonday is not in the system. I am in the system under Michael Lockmonday. To prevent this from happening when you're looking up a client or an heir, simply use the first initial of the first name. Here I will type in the letter M. As you can see, this time I have 2 hits now for M. Lockmonday. Before I click on my name to change my password, I want to go over the name search screen functionality. One of the big problems we experience in the system is duplicate name entry. It costs everyone time. We currently have tens of thousands of names in our database. A quick check by user can save everyone a lot of time. One of the features is SoundX, or sound alike. By clicking this feature on and clicking Submit, you can see that I brought back a lot of names that sound like Lockmonday. Another feature is Address. This returns any addresses in the database that we may have on a person. Yet another feature is Show Relatives. This shows all relatives for a person in our database. Utilizing these 3 features is very helpful in eliminating duplicates in our system, and we thank you for doing such. At this point, I will now click on my name to change my password. Clicking on my name brought me to my person detail screen. I will go over the person detail screen in just a little bit. At this point, I want to change my password. If I scroll down about a half an inch, I will see an area that says type a new password twice. Here I simply entered a new password in. I entered it once, hit tab, and entered it again. Passwords are case sensitive, so keep that in mind when adding a new password. To save your change, click Update in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Now that I have changed my password, I can start to utilize Quest for my cases. The best way to do this is to go to Supervision, My Caseload. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to use this feature. Whenever you log on, view your messages, and then go to Supervision, My Caseload. This will list all cases you have access to in the probate court. Since I don't have a caseload, I have chose one of the attorneys here in town to demonstrate from. As you can see, this screen shows me what cases I have representation for, the case I represent, and any future hearings they may have on these cases. There are other categories in the screen as well, but they pertain more to case management for probation officers or case managers. The first column shows the case person's name. Next to the person's names are a number. This number is referred to as a file number or the quest number. It is a unique identifying number that is assigned to all persons who have a case in the system. The second column is the case to which you are assigned. By clicking on this number, you will be taken to a screen which details the case. We will go over this screen in just a few minutes. Let's first click on a name and review a person detail screen. Here I have chosen the person Jean Bibbs. By clicking on Jean's name, it took me to her person detail screen. As you can see, I can see a lot about her demographics. I can also see her addresses, her contact numbers, her relatives, and any other information that may pertain to her that the court has obtained. At this point, I'm going to scroll down and look at some other information, such as adding an address. To add an address, I will click on the Add button to the right-hand side of the Addresses line. This will take me to the address detail screen for Jean Bibbs. The first thing I must do is choose an address type. Usually it's going to be home or business. Next, I'll add our street address under Address Line 1. Address Line 2 is generally reserved for apartment numbers, suite numbers, and post office boxes. The system has defaulted South Bend, Indiana. If I need to override that, I simply can do that by typing over such. Clicking Update will save this information for me. In this case, I really don't want to save this information for Jean, so I'm simply going to click Cancel, which takes me back to my previous screen. Next, we're going to look at contact numbers. By clicking on Add under the Contact Numbers line, I can add many numbers for Jean. This screen shows all the possible numbers I can save for Jean Bibbs. Next, we see the relatives. To add a relative, simply click Add on the Relatives bar. The first thing we need to do is get the relative's name. Click on Get Relative Name to go to the Name Search screen. Here we want to search for the person we want to add as a relative. If we find the person's name, simply click on it. If we cannot find the name, click on Add a New Name. Fill out as much of the screen as possible. If the person you're adding is actually a business, put that under the last name field. If this is an estate heir, please give us a date of birth, as we need to know if the heir is a minor or an adult. Another feature Quest offers is the calendar. Simply click this blue calendar wherever you see it to choose a date. Here we're going to go from today's date back to this person's date of birth. Click Update when you're ready to save this new person's information. Had we actually chosen somebody or entered a new name in, it would show here next to relative instead of saying get relative name. Next we need to choose the relationship type. There's quite a long list to choose from. As with any drop-down menu, you can use the first letter to toggle through. For instance, if I hit B, it will toggle through all the B's. In this case, I chose sister. If I actually wanted to keep this person, I would click Update to save my information. In this case, I'm simply going to click Cancel to back out. Had I have chosen someone, it would show their name, sister as a relationship type, and then said Add under Address and Add under Contact Numbers. By clicking on those adds, I could have added that information just like we did earlier for Jean. Here I see the case information. Since they're all underlined, they're hyperlinks, which means I can click on them to obtain more information. At this point, I'm simply going to continue on with the person detail screen and scroll down even further. This snapshot shows additional information that can be stored under the person detail screen. At this point, I'm going to cancel back to my caseload screen. Now I'm going to click on the case next to Jean Bibb's name. This takes me to the case detail screen. The case detail shows information which pertains to the case. We will now go over this screen. As you can see, it shows you the cause number across the top. It also shows the case type, formal estate. It shows the name associated with the case, Jean Bibbs. Next, I see names currently assigned to the case. Here you will find personal representatives, attorneys, probation officers, and non-relative heirs. This next screenshot shows us attributes. In this case, we have none. However, if the case was intestate, spread will of record, special judge, something of that nature, the clerk would flag it here and you would see it under case attributes. We also see the case status history, the cause number again, and claimants. It shows who made the claim, the date of the claim, the amount of the claim, and the status of the claim. Statuses are generally going to be claim paid, open, contested, etc. This next screenshot shows events. Events are all past and future hearings for this case. By clicking on one of the events, we can drill down and view more information about that event, such as who appeared and what documents or orders were created during that hearing. Finally, we scroll to the bottom and we see the documents. Along the top of the documents, we also see View CCS. We will go over this section first. Here's what I see when I click View CCS. I can scroll down and view all the entries made on this case. Now I'm back to my Documents section, which resides at the bottom of the case detail screen. There are two types of documents to view, Quest Generated and Scanned. The first document we're going to view is a Quest Generated document. Simply click on the View button and the document will appear. Here's an example. The next type of document I'm going to view is a scanned document. I can tell this will is scanned in because it is not underlined. Underlined documents are Quest generated and therefore can tell me when they were file stamped or approved, as well as who created them. Unfortunately, scanned documents don't have that same functionality. In addition, scanned documents must be viewed using third-party software. This software is free and will automatically download the first time you attempt to view a scanned document. Some user intervention is required during such, so please call me if you have any problems. Scanned documents are password protected using a generic user ID and password. I control security somewhere else. In this case, we simply use the user ID of X and a password of X to view the scanned document. Here I told the computer to remember my password, so I won't have to enter it again. If viewing software has already been installed, my document will appear in a new window. This window contains some of its own buttons, such as Print, Previous or Next Page, and Fit. The Fit button has a down arrow to the right of it. I can click on this down arrow and change it to width. This makes my document much easier to read on screen. Here's an example of going to Next Page, and an example of returning to the previous page. When I click out or close the window, I return back to Quest. Now it's time to learn how to add new documents. There are three ways to add documents to Quest for electronic filing. The first way is to utilize one of the hundreds of court forms. The second way is to enter in a free form. And the third way is to scan in a form. I'll go over all three ways now. The first thing we need to do is click Add Document. This takes us to a document detail screen where we need to choose a template. As you can see, there are hundreds of templates to choose from. Therefore, we utilize a shortcut tool. It's called List Templates Containing. By entering in a keyword, we can take our list of hundreds of documents and reduce it to just a handful. Here I typed in the keyword will. I now click Tab to move to my next field. And now my select box contains just those documents that contain the word will. In this case, I'm looking for the petition for probate of will and appoint person representative. I select it and now click Update to start a question-answer session or a mini interview. The first question is always kind of like a dummy question. Make sure you're on the right case. And it's already selected for you. So if you are, simply click Update to move on to the next question. We'll go through this question-generated document to show you guys how it works. The next question is, are there any codicils? I'm going to choose no. Is the estate supervised or unsupervised? I'm going to choose supervised. Select a petitioner and then click Update. Enter in the date of the will. Once again, there's that calendar. Select all the heirs. If my heirs were not preloaded via the person detail screen, in the lower right hand corner I see where it says New Relative. I can simply click on that and add all my heirs right from within the document. In this case, I'm just going to choose the one that's already been provided. And now I'm going to choose a person representative. Next, I'm going to select the counsel. Since it's supervised, I'm not going to choose a bond. Do I know which day the petitioner is going to sign this document? If I say no, it will leave me room to write it in. Dated this blank, day of blank, 20 blank. If I say yes, it'll ask me to enter in a date. In this case, I'll say no. At this point, I'm finished. That was it. If I click Preview, I can view the document to make sure it's what I want. If I click Finish, it will send it to the clerk or the judge for file stamping or approval. I better preview it first. Here's my document. Notice how it formatted a lot of information for me by just simply answering a few questions. Notice the attorney. I simply put a check mark next to his name in one of the questions, and it formatted his name, bar number, and address for me. Also note the signature block. I stated I didn't know what day the petitioner would sign the form, so I left the date blank. It also put a time and date stamp in the lower left-hand corner along with my name. If I needed to beat a filing deadline, this would prove that I did. The buttons on the bottom allow me to print the document out, or if I wish, I can email it. Let's look at that feature. This screen shows me all the players in the case that I can email a document to. If I have an email address on file, it shows it. If I don't, I can add it. By clicking next to their name and clicking Send, it will attach this document in an email to that person. I'm not going to cancel out of this document as if I were waiting for the real signature. When the petitioner actually signs this document, you can come back into the document, click Edit Text, and modify the date in which they signed it. As you may know, the court does not require the actual signatures on file. We entrust that you will have that signed document in your office. All we want is a copy of such. Click Edit Text now to go back and change that date. You will enter into the document where you left off. In this case, we left off at the very last question. We're going to click backwards to go back to the previous question. Top would take us to the first question, but we don't need to go back that far. We're going to change our answer from no to yes. It will now ask us which date the petitioner signed the document. At this point, we are now finished, and we can now click Finish to submit it to the clerk's office for filing. Another type of document we can add is a freeform document. Freeform documents can be generated in any word processor you wish and pasted into Quest, or you can simply type them right into Quest. You can use Word, WordPerfect, Excel, Notepad, WordPad. It does not matter. Quest will accept it. Let's do one now. Here we want to list templates containing the word free. And I'm going to choose Freeform Order. I need to change the name of this document to reflect what it truly is. I'm going to name this document Order on XYZ. And then click Update to begin the question-answer session. The first question as always, are you sure this is the right case? Yes, I'm sure. Which type of case is this? I'm going to use estate. Once again, name the order, put it in all caps. I will then take this information, center it on your page, and bold it. The next question is where you can freeform type information in or paste in from another word processing program. We've included some tools on here for you, such as underline, bullet, italics, bold, things of that nature. You can utilize those tools. Since this is an order, I will take care of the signature block for you. Do not include one. If it were a pleading, a motion, go ahead and include it. On orders, I'll take care of it because the judge needs to sign it. Click Update to save. Skip this question. Since this is a free-form order, I have no idea what should be hit in the CCS. Therefore, I ask you to make the minute entry. On question-generated documents, I know exactly what should hit the CCS, therefore no minute entry is necessary. On free forms and scans, you guys have to do it. Here I'm prompting you to do it. Once again, we preview the document to make sure it's what we want. You'll notice I took care of the signature block with percentage signs. When the judge actually approves this document, it will put his signature on the document for you. The third type of document we can add to Quest is a scanned document. Quest will accept scanned documents that are in PDF format or TIFF format. We clicked Add Document to get to this page. We will now look for a document template name called USCAN. There are two to choose from, USCAN and USCAN-CON. USCAN-CON is for all confidential documents. One note about scanned documents: they cannot be orders. I cannot control a signature on a picture. Therefore, you can only use scanned documents for pleadings. Please note that. I choose the appropriate template and click Update. Once again, am I in the right case? Yes, I am. Click Update. Here I'll make a minute entry. Since it is a scanned document, I have no idea what should be on the CCS. And then I'm going to browse out to find my document off the server or my hard drive. I'm going to choose a document in PDF format. I click Update. I forgot to change that title. Here's a note reminding me to do such. And now Preview. It shows my minute entry and has a link to view the scanned document. Adobe fires up, and here's my scanned image. Here's why we change the name of the document. I have no idea what this document is. If I change the name of it, I know exactly what it is. When you get a long list of documents, it's nice to have a detailed name to know exactly what you're going to be looking at. Well, that's how you do documents. We've looked at viewing documents and adding documents. Of course, the fourth way, which I failed to mention, is to bring them in and have us scan them in. We only do that on certain things, such as wills that cannot be Quest generated. I now want to wrap things up by going over the menu with you. And when we're done with that, that will conclude the training. I'm going to go back to the person detail screen for Gene because I want to show you a couple things. When looking at the person detail screen, the things in blue show what's on that page by scrolling down. You can also click those blue headers to toggle down, such as addresses, facility stays, things of that nature. My point here is, if you click on the top menu option, which is Person, a submenu will open up. Everything in that submenu can be found on the Person detail screen. Here I'm going to click on the case to go to the case detail screen. Once again, on the case are links to information that resides lower down on the page. Same thing with the menu. Under Case, a submenu will appear, and everything in the submenu can be found right here on the case detail screen. Once again, let's not forget about the Supervision My Caseload. This is your backbone. This is where you should work from. Working from Supervision My Caseload gives you access to the person, the case, and the court menus. They're all right there on one screen. Or at least a click away. One court feature you cannot access from your caseload screen is the monthly calendar. The monthly calendar allows you to view what's coming up in the courts. Simply choose a courtroom and click Submit. The calendar for the current month will appear. I moved ahead a month to try to find some open court time. The court will hear 150 morning minutes and 180 afternoon minutes of hearings. Each hearing type has a designated length. When a hearing is set, it deducts time off the calendar for that day and time. When the court runs out of allotted time, it goes into the red. This screen should be helpful for you to coordinate your schedule with the courts prior to calling in and requesting a hearing date. We've now gone over person, case, court, supervision. You don't have to worry about detention. You don't have tables on your menu. The next one is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous has a few features, one of which is view printer friendly. If you do this, it will format the page to print out properly. As you can see, the screen's been reformatted. This feature is not necessary with documents. There's also miscellaneous view switch menu location. This will take your menu from the left and put it to the top. I personally like it on the left. Under the Help menu, there's two subtopics you should be concerned with: Help Help and Help Active Users. Let's look at Help Help. This shows about 2 pages of helpful hints that you should read after you become more familiar with the system. These really are good shortcuts and good hints. There's also Help Active Users. This shows you who's currently logged on. Since I've been preparing this on a court holiday, as you can see, not many people are logged on at this time. The last topic I want to go over is messages. When you first log on, you'll see all of your messages. To get back to them, you can use miscellaneous messages. Here's that screenshot again of when we first logged on. I currently have no messages in my mailbox. To add a message, I simply click Add a New Message. I can send messages to a user ID, to a group, or to star all. You really don't want to use star all, as that sends to everyone, and there's probably no need for that. Here we're going to look at a group that you might be interested in, attorneys. I selected to a group ID, clicked Look Up, and now I'm going to scroll down and find the attorneys group. I chose View Members, and now I can view all the members of the attorneys group. Every attorney with Quest access hits this list. Here I'm going to send a message to myself to show what they look like. I choose to a user ID and type in my user ID. If I didn't know my user ID or the user ID of the person I want to send a message to, I can use the lookup button at the bottom and use the name search screen. When I'm finished, I type my message in and I click Update to send it. It now tells me on my screen I have one new message. I will get that notification regardless of what screen I'm on in Quest. I can also send an interrupt message. Whenever you send a message, it doesn't delete that original message. So once again, I'm going to type in my user ID, click Send Interrupt, and click Update. An interrupt message appears regardless of what I'm doing in Quest. As long as I'm logged on to Quest, I'll get this message, even if Quest is minimized. I can click Cancel or OK to respond. In this case, I clicked OK to respond. Here I'm going to type a new message. As you can see, it tracks the conversation. I am now going to click on that You Have One New Message hyperlink to go view my messages. And there it is. I'm going to put a check mark next to it to mark it as ready for deleting. And press the delete on the bottom twice. The last option is Sign Off. When I'm finished using Quest, I simply click this option and it ends my session. I can then minimize the window for easy access in the future. Thank you for taking the time to view this Quest training tutorial. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you need any further information, you can contact me at 574-235-5339. That's my office phone. Cell phone number 574-329-8961. You can contact me at mlockmonday@jjconline.org or through Quest at MIC LOC. Thank you.